arrêtez de me faire ralentir. Je suis en petit date. J'étais en date avec...
I'm glad to finally meet you in person, guests from the Astral Express. I'm Fei Xiao.
Quelle belle meuf.
Let me introduce our guest.
Quelle belle femme.
The one dressed in green.
He's the reincarnation of Imbibitor Lune, and the person behind him is the newest member of the crew. I've heard a lot about you.
Eh ben. T'entends parler de nous.
Outside the reports from the Law Fu, the Skyfaring Commission of the Yaoxing has also gathered plenty of information about both of you. I've been eager to meet you face to face for reasons that...
Toujours être honnête.
That's right. But don't worry, this isn't a trial. I just want to have a chat with you and get a... According to General Jing Yuan's report, the Ruin Legion is to blame for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, and all Arbiter Generals should pay attention to the... Over the years, the Destruction's minions have wreaked havoc on countless worlds, and the Alliance has been keeping an eye on them. But no one expected them to join hands with the Remnant. The damage caused by the Ambrosial Arbor crisis was far less severe than expected, which is good news for us. However, it was quite different from... While I trust the bravery of the Divine Foresight and the Nameless, I'm curious about some details missing from the report. I'd like to take this chance to... Let me be clear, the questions I'll ask might not reflect my actual thoughts, so please don't take offense if any of my questions...
Please, go ahead, General. But keep in mind, we can only answer based on what we know. And perhaps you already have the answers to your questions.
You have a clever tongue. I like it.
Oh là là. Oh non!
The Merlin's claw is quite articulate. Right now, her intentions are unknown, and Jing Yuan wants us to be honest. Maybe I'll just stick to the facts we know.
Let's cut to the chase. Before the crisis struck, the Astral Express was guided here by a Stellaron hunter, a wanted felon, in an attempt to resolve the Stellaron crisis. However, everyone in the cosmos knows of the Stellaron hunter's reputation. So, why did you place so much trust in them? Could it be that some of you have...
Oh my god! Négligent, gars.
Apart from the Lafu, there are many other worlds suffering from Stellaron corrosion. For example, Eurillo 6, the world that the Express stopped at before reaching the Lafu.
To the Express, Stellarons act as roadblocks on the Silver Rail and pose risks to the warping process. And that's why dealing with Stellaron issues is part of the duty of the Nameless.
Ah, I've heard about those problems caused by Stellarons. The Express connects various worlds, so it makes sense for you to take care of this. Let's move on to the next question. The report suggests that Don Shu, the master of the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus, colluded with the Lord Ravager and used the power of the Stellaron. But here's the thing. Don Shu was just a chief alchemist. Even if she colluded with our enemies and summoned the Stellaron, how did she manage to bypass...
J'étais avec elle en fait.
I personally met Don Shu once. Her closest friend was killed during the war on the Fanghu, and she harbored deep hatred towards the Hunt. So she spent years making preparations in the Alchemy Commission, in order to take revenge on the Xianzhou.
Revenge is also a form of the Hunt. However, that doesn't explain how she managed to
Well, you should ask Don Shu herself for the answer.
Unfortunately, Don Shu is dead, and even her corpse has crumbled into ash. According to the report, Lord Ravager Fantilia is the mastermind behind the entire conspiracy. She disguised herself as an ambassador of the Skyfaring Commission and traveled with you, only to vanish without a trace later on. It seems too convenient to label her as a scapegoat.
Fantilia is one of the Heliobi, the energy life forms that once fought against the Cienjo. They're known for their...
Just as he said, when the ambrosial arbor resurrected, its roots broke through the creation furnace on the loft.
If Elder Hua Yen accepts the explanation, so do I.
Oh, j'ai réussi.
Oh, it seems that your answers have addressed all my questions. Generals, I am finished with my questioning.
So, what do you think, General Fei Shao?
The two nameless have been honest in their answers, even though there are some tricky details. However, the 3 questions I posed earlier were not just for the nameless, but for you too, General Jing Yuan. First, the disciples of Sanctus Medicus grew uninterrupted on the Law Fu. Second, you believed in the Stellaron Hunter's prophet. Third, you insist on holding the war dance right after the
Merlin's Claw. Is this your line of thinking? Or the Ten Lords?
From the moment I walked in, I made it clear that the questions I'd ask...
The disciples of Sanctus Medicus were deeply rooted and had been plotting for a long time. I admit it was my negligence for not noticing it earlier. As for the Stellaron Hunter's prophecy, I didn't believe all of it. But in the end, the Law Fu did survive the Ambrosial Arbor crisis. So, and as for the war dance, do you think I'm unaware of the risks? However, risks can also be opportunities.
Just as I expected from our sophisticated divine force. But, unfortunately, ever since the report was submitted, the Alliance has been filled with rumors and speculation. Even within the Law Fu, there are people accusing...
So what are your thoughts on all of this?
As a fellow Arbiter General, I fully understand the difficulties of this position. Personally, I think all these rumors are meaningless drivel. Across the sea of stars, the divine foresight knows better than anyone, just as what happened on the Xianzhou Yaoqing region.
You mean the Xianzhou Yaoqing is all?
The scouts of the Verdant Knights have sent back reports that Borisin are making trouble again. The Borisin packs that were once divided and...
An entity?
According to the report, this entity isn't actually a Borisin. It's a woman claiming to be the messenger of the Master of Immortality. She's described as having...
That's Fantil.
That's right. You're lucky that I'm the one who came this time. If it were the Patina Justice or the Seer Strategist, this conversation might not be so friendly.
Je tique parce que le vert de gris, ça me fait penser en fait au carnet de l'apothicaire. Encore une fois.
I've always had faith in my instincts, so I don't doubt your good intentions.
What's in this plan, General Fei?
General Jing Yuan, you already know what has to be done. But since you don't want to be the bad guy, I'll take care of it for you. You need the final word from the Ten Lords, and for that, I'll have to ask the two nameless to visit the shackling prison.
Oh, pourquoi nous?
No, I'm not imprisoning you. While you're there, I'll ask a judge in the Ten Lords Commission's Interrogation Division to
I'm okay with that.
Moi aussi. Objection.
Your willingness to help is truly heartwarming, youngsters.
Then, as the Merlin's claw...
Oh, there's one more thing. This testimony is for silencing the voices of opposition within the Alliance. But...
So...
Exactly. Hule is locked up in the Law Fu's shackling prison. Since he is the broodlord of the Borisin, I want to transfer him onto the Xianzhou Yaoqing and imprison him.
It makes sense to have the Foxians keep an eye on their arch-nemesis. Since you trust my judgment...
And as for Hule, I'll send my Lieutenant Jiao Cho and Moza to check on his condition in prison and ready him for transport. If there are no more questions.
Ouais, bah non, moi je vais arrêter là. Hein.